So far, we're a lot more on target, but we haven't really started reaching that speed. Oh, it's starting to do its thing. So it's like once I get to 150 meters a second, let's try it again. Actually, you know what? Let's try adding wings and see if it starts doing that oscillating thing that very first time that's what it was doing. So let's try aerodynamic and probably oh, actually, do we have small stabilizers? We do. How much does that cost? 650 compared to 640. Let's try these. So we'll do 2 here, like so, and then we'll do 2 here. All right, let's see if that has the same effect. Because remember, I'm still learning the way that this physics system works. I haven't played like an entire game all the way through with a huge craft and stuff with Ferrum, so this is a learning experience for me as much as it is for you guys. It did try to correct the launch. You saw the wings move there because of the initial, movement that you have on the launch there. This appears to be a lot more stable. We're going much faster and having a lot less. Okay, there it starts. Can we get through this without just freaking out? So far, so good. Oh, there comes all the lights. Don't ask me why you can't see it before, but man, can you see it once we get to a certain height. Okay. We're gonna have to start our second stage. About right now. Okay, so definitely need the rest of our stuff. Cool. So that worked better. I'm going to try one last thing. I'm going to try grabbing it and move it down a bit and doing 4 of them. Probably only need 3. Gonna try 4. Save and while we're at it, we may as well test the boosters, right? If I can get them just right. I was having this issue the first time I put them on too. Just doesn't quite want to do it. That's fine. We can do it at an angle, I think. I think because it's all balanced, maybe we'll go into a spin. But, I mean, we'll see. Also, I got to set up the staging on that. Didn't put that correct. But this is our final test before we actually do our launch. Those are the separators. So let's put that there. All right, here we go. Should work. It's trying to correct. It did a really good job of it. Maybe the entire time I just needed these wings, because they apparently do a very good job of correcting this. See, they're kind of going back and forth. This is going to get real dicey here. Oh, man. I don't know if we're going to make it. Oh, something blew up. I think that was the boosters. I can't tell what it was. We'll figure it out once we get rid of these boosters. Wow, we are going straight up. Okay, everything's kind of stabilized. That's good. We got to figure out what exploded there. All right, those are gone. Let's gently get rid of them. I like that. Hit our engine. Okay, so this is all working fine. So we're way high. I think we can pretty much start a gravity turn style. I mean, this is super inefficient with the way that I'm building this. And it did launch us into a weird... I think we got to go with 2 boosters. I think that's our final verdict, but I do really want to see what exploded. So let's get kind of higher in space here. And let's figure this out. What was it that blew up? Our engine's fine. If we remove those, it's okay. So it was one of these smacking against the fairing. Let's just test to make sure this all works. That goes. That engine functions. Then will this separate properly? And then we have our actual probe. Okay, cool. I think we're ready for the mission. This is the real one, but we need to remove 2 of these. So, okay, that's because this only needs 2. Then this. Let's... Oh gosh, that is so not straight. There we go. We will... You know, actually, I kind of liked the way that it was. Why is this having such an issue? Maybe if I do that. Sure, that'll function. I mean, it worked to get it away from the craft a bit. Maybe if I click on it and do this way a bit, maybe that'll help that whole thing along. Okay, we want these on that, and the final thing we need are extra wings. And then I think we're good. I think we've tested this craft enough. I think it's functional. All right, there, that should work. All right, I think the Parabolica is ready for its first real mission. Obviously, we may use this design again, so we want to keep this in mind of all the stuff that we've just learned through this trial and error, basically. But this should function correctly. Is it going to correct this kind of craziness? Yep. So far, so good. We'll see how bad it starts oscillating once we start getting really up to speed here. And because we have less weight on us, since we're running 2 less boosters, it should balance out to not quite enough speed that we had before, but not as much craziness. You know, we shouldn't lose a science piece inside the fairing because the oscillating should be a lot less. Obviously, we're going to need to use our main booster here, and this is kind of putting us into like a weird curve, right? Because we're going to start going kind of this way. You see how like the apoapsis is changing? That's not good. We don't want that. So those are there. Look, it works. Okay. We want to get this engine firing, and we want to start... Oh, too much. Okay. We want to correct it. We can correct it. Stop it. Okay. It's going to do 1 more spin. That's fine. I mean, we're losing a lot of speed here by having to do this, but... I think we've gained control. Alright. Let's just go straight up a bit more. Let's gain our speed back. It says we've got an orbit. We want to kind of go prograde here. How high are we going to be? 55,000. This is not quite the way I wanted to do this. However, it could be going a lot worse. We did manage to come out of a spin there. I mean, you got to give the credit to the Kerbals back at the space station who are controlling this remotely. They've done a good job. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up a bit, and I want to get closer to the apoapsis, probably about like right here. So slow down. Now I want to go full on sideways, just straight towards the horizon. Are we level? We are. Okay, that's good. It's gonna save us some headache. Let's look at the fuel that we have. I don't know if this is our current stage or just overall. Will we get to the moon with this much fuel? I don't know. I don't think we will. I don't honestly think that we have enough juice in us. All right, well, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, our engine just ran out. So this, as we now know, does not have enough fuel. But we have a design that is mostly functional. So how do we get it to work? Well, this has been a much longer, extensive period of testing than I wanted. However, we have a lot better idea of how this all is going to function. So that's a good amount of thrust there. This should be the part that gets us to the moon. That's really what we want, right? We want this to get us to the moon, but we need a bit more juice. which means we need the boosters to get us up into space. So how can we do that? Well, I think what we do is we do that, and we put that engine there. Except we switch this one out for this one. Right, so that gets us that. Alright, so now what I want to do is I want to go to the decoupler. And then we just need a bit of fuel, so probably 2 tanks. And this. Now, once again, I'm back to that this is kind of tall thing. It's going to be difficult. How do we figure this problem out? Because we have a problem, and we need a solution. Maybe what we do is we don't use this engine directly. Instead, we put that on, and we use this one. Not a lot of boosting power there, but it should do the job if we plan ahead. Then we decouple, then we do this. That saves us a bit on height. Yeah, and then what we do is we try 4. Maybe. Now that we have a bit more weight, it should slow us down a bit. And we want to get that directly on. Okay. All right, so how does this all work? Well, we have the radial decouplers. We have our boosters, right? We have an engine, so we want that engine on a different one. All right, so these are the separators, so the decouplers need to go there. Those are the boosters. These need to go here. Then we have the engine. Then we have that middle decoupler. Then we have the other engine. Okay. Save and launch. Are we going to get oscillation? Probably. Are we going to get enough to destroy us? I'm not sure. We're going to find out. Okay. It's funny how I kind of go back to my original design, knowing, you know, at the beginning that this is how much thrust I'll probably need, but not being able to do it without completely destroying myself. So far, it's keeping us under check here, these wings. We're starting to get a little bit of wobble. Will we hold? Stay on target. Stay on target. It's cool if it's just going back and forth like this, if it starts rotating while doing it, that's when it starts getting a little messy. So I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this. We're getting a lot of thrust. I mean, we're already pretty much at 1,000 meters a second. We will definitely be over that, which is nice because remember, we need 2,000 meters a second in order to really get in orbit. So let's get rid of these. Oh, that was beautiful. All right, how high is this apparatus? 103 meters. 103, yeah, 102,000 now. So that's going to rapidly go down as we lose speed. But I don't want to fire this engine just yet. I want to get a bit higher, probably 50,000 meters. Okay, about that. And we'll fire. And I want to go sideways, but not too much, because I don't want to go into that spin that we did last time. We are enough through the atmosphere here that we probably can. But I want to take it easy. And just get us facing like that. I'm going to cut the engine. I want to get us to our apoapsis. About right there. Start our burn. We're really high up, so that gives us a lot of time. I'm curious what our fuel level will be. Can I do stage only? Thank you. Now remember, we have that, you know, it's a smaller engine on the next stage, but it burns through the fuel a lot slower, so we should be fine. I think this is the one. I think this is the actual mission that's gonna get us to the moon. Where is the moon? It's off over there. Okay. Is that gonna work for us? We can line it up if we get an orbit. We don't have to go straight into the path of the moon from here. We can line up an orbit. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to separate here soon. We got to make the transition quick because we can't lose any moment of thrust. Perfect. And that will get us the rest of the way into orbit. And we have a lot of fuel for this part. I think we did it, guys. I actually think we did it. Let's see if we get into orbit without any issues. Also, if you were wondering what I meant by parabolica, this is right here. This is a parabolica. Or close to one. So that's kind of we're gonna like go like this around the moon and come right back to Kerbin. That's the plan, at least. We'll see if that actually works. Also, we're pretty level. We're not bad. We can make an adjustment here and not really burn too much fuel. Oh, we almost have orbit. This is so close. We have plenty of fuel, too. We definitely got it this time. I think this is definitely the one. We'll be able to collect all that science from the moon, which is going to be nice, because what that'll allow us to do is get enough science to make a lander to go to the moon. And not just a lander, we're going to go to multiple biomes at a time, which gets us a lot more science. We need this a bit higher. I'm going to go for 70,000 and then we'll be fine. It's cool to have an apoapsis that's a little wider like that, because we're going to raise our periapsis anyways. 75,000. Perfect. Let's get to our apoapsis. And once we're above what we need, come on, you can speed up more. And we'll raise our periapsis to roughly that. And that will make getting to the moon a little easier, because we'll already have a lot of the maneuver done in order to break the gravity well that is Kerbin. So we want to face ourselves prograde, which is to our left. And then we're going to make our burn like so. Cool. Also, how does our craft look? Looks kind of cool. It looks like a bullet. Like a rifle bullet. Because of the fairing, which will be removed here in a minute. We don't necessarily need it, but I like revealing the thing once we get up. Okay, perfect. We have a fairly circularized orbit. We can now intercept the moon on its next course as it comes around this way.